What is poppin', everybody? Guess what? I have an interesting story for you all today. Now, Britain, thankfully, it's not the United States doing this. I lied. We did do this. They took a dump on themselves because they elected a very, what's the right word? A very interesting individual who President Trump had even come out and said was very similar to himself. Now, this happy fella's name is Boris Johnson. Before I jump into him, I'm going to give you guys a quote of his that really helps exemplify who he is as a person. Now, this quote was something that he had said before he was elected as president. This was a little bit ago, to be fair. But are you ready for this? It's a good quote. I'm not going to let you guys down. Remember, this is from the cream of the crop in terms of politicians. He is the most elite politician in all of Britain right now, and by default, all of the world. I mean, I'm looking for a quote that is full of wisdom, full of truth, full of passion. You know, this is what he wanted to do since he was little. He was on record saying that his goal was to be a world king when he was younger. Okay, so enough hype. Here's what he says in all of his wisdom. Everything come up to the point of becoming the world leader. Here is his quote before he was elected as president, right here. Quote, "My chances at being president are only slightly higher than being decapitated by a frisbee." Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Ugh. Oh, good God, Britain, what did you do to yourself? Oh my God. That's the guy? That's the guy you decided to elect? Oh. So I guess we can't give them too much crap because we did elect President Trump, but come on, Britain, really? This is your guy? This is the person to lead the New World Order, if you believe in conspiracy theorists? Oh, okay, so he actually won 66% of the vote as well. So Theresa May, you got this chick who was the prime minister, she stepped down. Then there opened up another election and Boris Johnson won this election. That's all you need to know. Now, this is the Brexit guy. This is the dude who's like, we need to go and get out of the EU in order to make a better Britain. We're going to invest all that money into the national health insurance to help everybody out. Recently, he decided that he wants to leave the EU by, you want to figure out what day would be the best? What do you think? Let me just pause this video. What would you think that would be the best day for Britain to leave the EU? You know, like if they have any sort of, you know, like 4th of July equivalent or some, you know, crap. Are you ready for this? The day he chose to leave is Halloween. Oh. Oh. Think about that meeting for a second. So, what day should we leave the European Union? And Boris Johnson's like, well, I think we should do it on a day where everybody is already scared. Let's do it on Halloween. But maybe there's like some extra like reverse psychology here. Maybe there's like a point in the human brain where you get so scared that you no longer feel fear anymore. And plot twist, what if he's just like a mastermind this whole time and this was also a part of like this miraculous plot on his end and he's just an evil genius or something? I'm just saying, I don't know. It's probably not the case. I just thought it'd be fun to throw it out there. But, you know, on a policy note, so he says that he wants to leave the European Union and renegotiate this contract. So Theresa May was like, hey, guess what? We're just going to give you guys $39 billion and we're going to leave and we'll call it good. And the EU was like, whatever. Boris Johnson was like, you know what? That is what I call a divorce bill. We're not going to pay our way out like that. Instead, we're going to renegotiate the contract. So he wants to renegotiate. Now, the European Union was like, no, thank you. We're not. You guys can pay us that. And Boris Johnson, in response, said, well, if you don't renegotiate, we're just not going to pay you the $39 billion. The European Union called his bluff and said, oh, okay, well, guess what? If you don't, then your guys are going to look bad and nobody's going to trust you. Nobody's going to want to do business with you. And the pound, the British dollar, that's going to drop. So we're calling your bluff. What are you going to do? That's it. Game, set, match. What are you going to do now, Boris Johnson? We don't know. So it's interesting. Other than that, there's not a lot of specific policies that he's supporting. It's similar to Trump, where in the beginning he says a lot. Well, he still does. But he said a lot and he contrasted himself, and it's very confusing. So the only real thing that I'm going to highlight is the fact that he was supporting a green economy. So he was supporting tax breaks to companies supporting green technology. He says he wants to bring Britain's carbon emissions down to zero. I didn't really see how he was planning on doing that. And he was in favor of revolutionary new batteries and wind turbines. Don't ask me what that means. I do not know, and I don't know if he knows either. Aside from that, let's just go over his life real quick, and then I'm going to give you guys a little video at the very end of different funny things that he said and done along this, this journey up to this point. So he was born in New York City. Plot twist, he was born in America. That's hilarious. And he had a British and American citizenship until he renounced his American citizenship back in 2017. And when he was little, like I'd already said, he wanted to be world king. See, when I was little, I wanted to be a snake. When I was like 5 or something like that. So I guess there's really like 2 types of people in this world. Some want to be world kings and some want to be snakes, and everybody else is somewhere in between. But I digress. Then he worked for the Times, but he was fired for making up a quote. And then he worked for the Daily Telegraph criticizing British politics. And then ironically, he jumped into politics in 2008 and he was elected as the mayor of London. After that, he was pretty much in office until 2016, and that's where we're at right now. Here is a full video of funny little things that you guys may find to be interesting or slightly amusing. Maybe you'll get like a chuckle, maybe 2 out of this. Other than this, like the only thing to mention is the fact that he has a real weird relationship with Trump, where he'll denounce Trump telling Ilhan Omar to go back to her country. And he says that he wants to stay out of New York because he'll have a real risk of running into Donald Trump. But yeah, that's it. So here's the video.
Yeah, obviously very, very humble, very proud to be offered this chance. I think Theresa made a wonderful speech this afternoon about her ambitions for the country. As I say, the United States of America will be in the front of the queue.
What about those who've insulted Mr. Johnson? Good morning. Thank you, so sorry.
His replacement as Foreign Secretary has just been announced as Boris Johnson.
Last attack. Yeah, excellent.
Dobby in the house elf.
He mentions bananas. It is absurd that we are told that you cannot sell bananas in bunches of more than 2 or 3 bananas. You cannot sell bananas with abnormal curvature of the fingers.
My name's Boris Johnson.
No, it is in fact Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson. Isn't it?
It is. Now, what are you asking here? It's perfectly true that I have had some drugs.
Have you? You haven't got any on you, have you?
No.
Get me a ladder.
He got himself into pretty deep water today, helping volunteers clean up a river in the capital, marking...
It was all going well, and then not so well.
About as much chance of being reincarnated as an olive.
No, why would you say that? Because politics is nothing
being
if
blinded
not
by a champagne one.
But it's nothing if not ambition. Why couldn't you think about being prime minister? You could if you wanted to.
That having consulted colleagues and in view of the circumstances in Parliament, I have concluded that person cannot be me.
All right, guys, this is the new Prime Minister of Britain, Boris Johnson.